Hello and welcome to Using Modern JavaScript Today. My name is Nelson Lakay, and in this course, we're going to take a look at some of the new and exciting features and tools that have grown out of the JavaScript ecosystem over the last couple of years. So, I've been writing JavaScript since around 2007, and it was painful. I don't know how many of you guys remember back then, but it's definitely matured a lot. And I think we've seen really a renaissance over the last, I would say, 4 years that has really made JavaScript start to be a language that, what's the word I'm looking for? Bearable. Actually, in fact, a lot of the new features are really amazing, and once you get done with this course, you're going to see that there's really no excuse not to incorporate these tools into your own projects, and you can start doing that right now. This entire course is centered around the concept that these new tools and these new features are production ready and can be integrated into any workflow and any project. So what platforms will this work on? Well, the answer to that is everything. And when I say platforms, I'm not just referring to the backend technology of your particular web application. I'm also referring to the operating system. All of this stuff that we're going to do, including the editor I'm going to use, will work on macOS, Linux, and Windows just fine. But on top of that, it's also going to work no matter what backend technology that you prefer. Even if you prefer no backend technology and you just do front-end stuff, if you use ASP.NET, if you use PHP, if you use Ruby on Rails or Node.js, it'll still all apply. Now, I want to give a special call out to ASP.NET, and the reason for that is ASP.NET 5, which is currently a release candidate, but for you future people, it might be already released, has a heavy reliance on many of the tools we're looking at. And that was kind of funny because the majority of the tools we're looking at are going to be executed using Node.js, but Visual Studio 2015 and ASP.NET 5 work great with these tools for doing what they do, which is processing our assets, processing our JavaScript files and our CSS files and our images and all that fun stuff. Really, this is language agnostic, even though this will all be in JavaScript, of course, but it's platform agnostic, language agnostic. If you are a web developer, then this is going to be, these tools are going to be the future of how you work with your front-end code. So what are we going to be talking about in this series? Well, first of all, we have the fundamentals, Node.js and NPM. We need to understand Node.js to be able to execute some of the tools that we're going to be using, not necessarily using Node.js as a server backend. We're going to look at LESS, the CSS preprocessor. We're going to look at the new JavaScript standard, or the new ECMA script standard, ES 2015, which gives us bleeding edge JavaScript features, and we're going to see how we can use those features today on browsers that may not even support those features. So we'll be talking a lot about how we can accomplish that in this series. We're going to look at the task runner Gulp to automate many of the processes that we are going to be needing to automate in this series, and talk about how we can use it as a build step to process our assets. We're going to be talking about the package manager Bower, and then we're going to take a look at 4 module loaders or bundlers. And this is one of the most important parts of this series, because once you get there, you're going to be able to load up your JavaScript and your CSS and your image files, and you're going to be able to create relationships between them without having to worry about adding a bunch of script tags on your page. If you, like, let's say you're familiar with PHP, you know how you can require in a file. Well, with these module loaders, you can do that in JavaScript on the browser, and it's really how you should be architecting your JavaScript in modern web development. As far as prerequisites, as long as you are comfortable with JavaScript, you will do fine in this course. This course is designed for people who want to kind of move to the next level, who have a basic understanding of JavaScript, have written web applications before, but want to see how we can use the new features of JavaScript and the tools relating to JavaScript to make our coding environment a lot nicer to work in. All right, so that was a brief overview of this course. In the next video, and the next video is free, so feel free to hop on over there, we're going to break down what each one of these individual items means and what it means for you as a web developer, and why I personally believe it's very fundamental that people start using these technologies right now in their applications. So I guess I will see you guys there.